What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here. Coming back at you with another review. So, this review comes courtesy of Hulu again. And I watched a movie called Feral. Feral is an hour and 21 or 31 minutes long. It would have to be 31 minutes long. And it is a horror action.
You possess a license to marry people in California? And you're gonna answer no. Am I clear? That's a lie. No, it isn't. You don't possess it, I do. Listen to me, you fat-gutted soap. You're gonna take your toll, understand? You recall the question I'm gonna ask.
It is a horror action.
And what do you answer?
It's a thriller that came out all the way back in 2017. It is by FCI, and it contains
You know what I'm thinking? When I use
and the plot is as follows.
that's a whole lot of cash out there.
6 friends end up going on a camping trip.
Tough spot right now. They just don't have enough savings to get by. The biggest
And
they could be our family, our friends. And then there's that $6 trillion.
okay,
That's the amount retired
I'm going to say this. I have reviewed movies.
for senior household. So
I've reviewed Death Wish, which I thought was good. I've had positive things to say about all the movies that I had, positive and negatives, but I've always gave the positives, and there were more positives that outweighed the negative. Well, there was Death Wish, Gamer,
I know what you're thinking. And why AAG? Well, I've done my homework, and I know how dedicated AAG is to helping
Daylight's End.
in a caring, ethical way.
I've reviewed several movies. So, what do I have to say about this one? I am sorry to say this, but I didn't like this movie. And I didn't like this movie because I knew the plot, basically. I knew where it was going when I read the description, and this movie has the scout from Halloween and and a guy from The Walking Dead. And you'd think it'd be good, but no. Okay, so here's what happens. You have 6 friends who I'm going to guess they're either high school or college students, because they haven't graduated school yet. And they go on this trip. And everything's going smoothly. Until... And, you know, there is no sex scene, but you do see two students sucking face. Well, not sucking face, but kissing. French kissing, I bet. So... Why didn't I like this movie? Not only because it's a story that's been repeated to death. You basically have incompetent people in the midst of a feral apocalypse. But big whoop, it's a zombie. It even says in the description, well, in the details of the movie, that it is a cannibal. It is a cannibal zombie. Yep. So, what happens? Well, there is a girl, and there is a guy. There is a girl, and there is a guy. Girl, guy, girl, guy, basically. Well, the guys are outnumbered. There are girl, girl, girl. It basically consists of females and males. And so we get a feel-good moment in the movie where this girl gets proposed to. She says yes, and he goes, "I'll be right back." The girl asks, "Where you going?" He goes, "Nature calls." Well, yeah. So, guy is peeing, and he gets taken out by a zombie who is this guy's son named Ben, but I will get to the guy a little later. Oh God. So after waiting, I'm going to say 10 to 20 minutes, the guy's fiance she gets out of her tent and she proceeds to go walking into the woods. Then she sees the zombie crouching over her fiance, who is dead at this point. And in the scene, you can tell the zombie is interested in the intestines of the person. So instead of running, She holds a lantern, stands there in disbelief or shock, then sees the zombie. Well, no, then the zombie turns around, and I'm basically and I'm basically thinking she's not going to run. Guess what? She ran, but she was running when the thing was chasing her. Oh, and these ferals, they travel around. They travel around on their legs and hands, so basically like a dog. So, so then she gets bit, and the rest of her and her friends come, and they see her. She's basically unconscious. Then she then they see the guy, and with all its entrails and everything all over the place, and all they say is, "Oh my God." And they think it's a wild animal or something. Well, so we cut to the movie they bring their friend back to the tent and they bandage her up. So they go to sleep, and in the morning there's this girl that fell asleep who is gay, and the guy named Tybalt or something like that. This is the father whose son became a feral. And, well, he is a complete and total douche. And that's putting it mildly, folks. So, what this guy does is he says that I will give you, you can take her to my cabin and you can stay there while she recovers and everything. Well, we find out later on that he knows exactly what's going on, because his son Ben, who he was keeping captive to study the feral that he turned into, escaped. And that is what bit their friend. So Tybalt, he tries to kill their friend. They try to kill their friend Bree. And he tries to explain that, I'm only checking on her, I'm giving her antibiotics. Well, the girl that went hunting for a little while knows how to use a Winchester rifle, and she's not buying it, so she shoots him in the shoulder. Then he recovers and says, basically, you need to kill your friend because she is going to turn. You need to put a bullet through her skull. And like a bunch of idiots, they do not do that. Then another girl and a guy go for a walk to try and to get to a service road and everything, and they have a heated argument. And that heated argument was she goes, "You really don't like me, do you?" And he goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Why?" And he goes, It's because of Josie or something." And basically one thing leads to another. He gets shoved into a trap. And she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm thinking, really? This? So basically what happens to Bree is that she gets handcuffed on a bed in a cellar, and they knock her out with some horse tranquilizer. So then, well, I'm going to rush through the rest of this because, to be honest, I have a lot to say. At the end of this, yeah. So you may wonder, well, how does it end? It ends on a freaking cliffhanger. Because there are technically 3 girls left, but two are Bree, is turning, and then you have the girl and the other girl, and the other girl gets bit by the feral, and she goes, "I'm not turning into one of those things." So the other girl leaves the rifle behind, and boom, she kills herself to prevent her from turning into a feral. Then it cuts to a then it cuts to the cellar where Bree has basically finished her transformation into a feral. Oh, and Tybalt, he got bit by his son. He's holding the rifle, looking into the mirror, and he just says, "Son," and gets taken off screen. Blood is on the mirror. So yeah, that's my review. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it a 1. And I hate to be so harsh to a movie that's old, to a movie that's 2 years old, but it 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 just didn't I wasn't intrigued by it. So it's a repetitive story. The characters are completely dumb. A whole bunch of thriller tropes, and it just isn't for me. So I'm Hardcore Christopher. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's meet that 1,000 subscriber mark. Also, don't forget to go show Spooky RoboCat and Tom Masters and Wrestling for Fans some love. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.